Hi friends, it's Chloe. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming because I'm about to go on a weekend trip to Victoria and we're driving over, which gives us a lot of spare time. There's three of us going over, me, Jordan and my mum, and obviously whoever isn't driving is a passenger. So I thought it would be a pretty good time for me to try and crack into some books. So today's the day before I leave. I leave tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. And it's about an 8-hour drive. Right now, to prepare for that trip, I'm about to head to my local library. Today's been a pretty relaxed day. It's about 2 p.m. now and I haven't really done anything, but I do have some stuff that I need to do to get ready to go. So you can follow me along with that, and yeah, I'll update you as I go with my reading. I'm returning a couple of books right now, so I've got a couple just here that I'm returning that I either finished or didn't. So firstly, I'm returning Love Her Wild by Atticus poems, or Atticus poetry, depending on what platform you're looking at. But I read this, I ended up DNFing it. It's really bad. So me and Jordan played this game the other day where he would turn to a random page and read out the poem, and I would just basically cringe the entire time because they're all terrible. My favourite, aka the worst one, or not, probably not the worst, but the worst of the ones I read was one that just said, "All I need is you and sunsets." That's not poetry. Basically, I think in my review on Goodreads I ended up saying that this book is for people that have never read poetry but like to say they've read poetry, or middle-aged mums who like to share quotes on Facebook and Instagram, because it's basically just full of that. So here, we'll play that game. So I'll turn to a random page. New love is the best cure for old love gone bad. From the moment I saw her, I knew this one was worth the broken heart. I fought my eyes to stay awake. No dream was prettier than the way she slept. It didn't matter that she fell apart. It was how she put herself back together. It just doesn't say anything about anything. It's incredibly surface level and immature poetry, basically, and I'm just glad that it wasn't like super erotic or over-sexualized like a lot of male poetry can be. That's one thing that Atticus, at least in this collection, didn't do, so I was glad about that, because that would have just added to the already cringe. I'm also returning a collection of poems by Lewis Carroll. I didn't even look at this. I have enough other things that I want to read, so I'm just returning it for that reason, but you know, I have no review for that one, so that's where we're going now. So I just got out of the library. So I was picking up a couple of books that I had on hold. I'll show you those. So I picked up The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzi. I just read the first book. What was it? The Gentleman's Guide to something. And yeah, it was really good. So I thought I would continue on with the series, see if this one is any good. I did like the LGBT aspect of the first one. I don't know if this is an LGBT romance as well. I'm hoping it is, because I like LGBT romances. I also picked up this one, so A Beautiful Funeral by Jamie McGuire. So this is the last in a series that I've been reading. If you've heard of the romance book A Beautiful Disaster and A Walking Disaster and that series, this is like the spin-off series called the... Oh my god, I'm having a blank. It probably says it on here. the Maddox, the Maddox Brothers spin-off series. So it follows the brothers. This series follows the brothers of the main character of the Walking Disaster, the Beautiful Disaster series, and this is the last one. I've been wanting to read it and buy it for ages, and I will buy a copy, but like the thing is they're always really expensive, and it's quite a small book, as you can see. Like, how many pages is that? It's like 220 pages or something like that, which is not much, and I just can't justify spending like $30 on a book for 220 pages. But at the same time I want it to complete my collection because I own all the other ones. Then I also got Shout by Laurie Halse, is that how you say it? Halse Henderson. So she's the author of what have I read from her? Winter Girls, I think it is. And this is a book of poetry by her. I don't know if it's it might be like a narrative told through poetry. I wanted to give it a try. I love poetry. I haven't had a lot of luck recently finding any good poetry, so I got that. But then while I was picking up those, I also saw this, which is 21 Truths About Love, a novel by Matthew Dix. So this looks interesting. It is a story told in the format of lists. So it's completely told through lists. So I think it'll be a really quick read, which is always good. I don't like reads that drag, but I think it will be interesting as well. And because I am a very list-oriented person, I think it will be interesting. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But that's what I picked up from the library. I'm gonna head home and start doing some chores now. Stuff that I have to do before I go away, but it's necessary, so that's what I'm gonna do now. So it's about 4:30ish and I'm just hanging out with Koba now because I finished doing my stuff to get ready to go. So I've, just finished packing and doing some basic house stuff. Koba's in a very good mood right now, very lovely. So we're just hanging out. I thought I would update you guys just on what I'm actually reading right now. So I'm finishing Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. This brick of a book I have actually started, I think I started it in November, so I've been reading it for a little while, but I really want to finish it by the end of January, so that's where I'm at with that right now. How many pages in am I? I'm about 550 pages in, so I'm just over halfway. But because I find it a little bit heavy for me anyway, and it's a little bit of a sluggish read for me as well, even though I really enjoy it, I do find it takes me a long time to read those books. I'm reading it alongside An Anonymous Girl by Greer, Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. So I'm reading it alongside this. I'm reading this book because I read by this author duo a book called The Wife Between Us, or I listened to it on audiobook and I really loved it. So I bought a physical copy of that, and then I bought this as well. So I'm kind of reading one chapter of this and then one chapter of Kingdom of Ash at the same time. Because they're so different, it kind of keeps me interested in both of them. So I can finish both of them hopefully faster. So that's what I'm reading right now. What I'm planning to take with me for my trip is those two, obviously, and I'm gonna try and smash out a heap of that while I'm in the car. But then I think I'm also going to take maybe a book of poetry as well, the Shout by Laurie Halse Henderson, is that her name? Ooh, that's just coming straight off my memory. And I think that should be enough, but if I'm in a really reading mood while I'm away, it could possibly not be enough. But I also think I'm gonna have a lot to do. I'm gonna have people to see, places to go. So I'm not just gonna be sitting and reading the entire time. So I feel like it'll be plenty. So that's what I'm planning to take with me. Right now, I just think I'm going to, just sit down, relax, try and read a little bit because I haven't been able to read at all today or yesterday either. So that's what I'm going to do now that I'm all finished with my chores and packing and everything. And hopefully we get to have a little bit of a quiet early night because we have to get up so early. So yes. So I'm just leaving the house now. It's about 7 p.m. I'm going to get some dinner. I actually didn't read at all during that time because I was lazy and just played Sims and hung out with Jordan and the cats basically. So yeah, I'm going to get dinner. I'm going to get burritos from Zambreros. And then after dinner I'm going to focus on reading because I do want to read a little bit today. But yeah, dinner first. Isn't that right, Pizza? So it's my first full day here. So it's Saturday today. I'm going to see my Nana today. We're planning to pick her up from the nursing home and then take her out for lunch and maybe a bit of shopping. So I'm going to spend some time with her today. And then we're having another family dinner back here. I'm staying with my cousins and my auntie. And then we're taking off tomorrow morning. So today's like our main day here, and we're just going to spend some time with my Nana basically. I should update you guys on my reading. I have just been focusing on an anonymous girl because I'm really I've been pulled into the story and it's very interesting. So I'm reading that basically just that at the moment. When I finish that one, I'll probably dive back into Kingdom of Ash, but I'm hoping to finish an anonymous girl tonight and then maybe read a little bit of Kingdom of Ash as well and get a bit further in that. Hey guys, so we're back on the road back to Adelaide now. We're just leaving. We've just probably got 20 minutes, half an hour out of where we were staying, and we're heading back to Adelaide. So we're about to start our big long drive again. I didn't get a lot of chance yesterday to actually read it, otherwise I probably would have finished it, but I'm hoping soon. Good morning, friends. So it is the day after I got back from Ballarat. I didn't end up closing out that same day because basically I got home, crashed, and was very boring and very tired. As you can see from the state of my face, it's not great, so please excuse that. I'm wearing minimal makeup to try and let it, I don't know, heal or do something. But I wanted to let you guys know, and me and Koga wanted to let you know, that I finished 2 books on my trip. I finished An Anonymous Girl by Greer, Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I really loved this book. I think I gave it a 4, but I think I'm going to change it to a 4.5. It was an almost perfect book for me. It was really suspenseful, and I think the writing was really great. It had great tone and great pace the entire time. I think the only thing that could have made this a bit better for me was if the climax was a little bit more intense. I thought, yeah, it was intense, but like, it just could have been a little more. It could have given me a little more shock factor, I think. Especially considering how intense the build-up was, and the villain kind of characters, they were actually quite scary and intimidating. So I thought that the climax with those characters was going to be quite big, and it was good, but like not as good as I think it could have been. Then I also finished Shout by Laurie, Halse, Henderson. I finished that last night. So I absolutely adored this book. I think it was beautifully written. It had amazing tone the entire time, and I just think Laurie Halse Henderson has a real way with words that in every single poem, the emotions that she is trying to put out, she makes you feel them so beautifully. And her poems have such depth. She talks about things like, I guess, how poems should. They use words and analogies and metaphors to talk about a certain context, but also talk about something else, and I think she does that really well. A lot of the poems that I've been quite disappointed with recently in different collections, they're too straightforward and they don't talk about anything really, whereas this one I thought was quite complex, and I really enjoyed it, so I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I also thought it was very funny because I picked this up for my trip to Ballarat, and then halfway through, or 3/4 of the way through, there's a poem about Ballarat and Ballarat's history with the institution of religion and its relationship with child abuse and rape, basically. I thought that was quite coincidental. It was a beautiful poem, one of my absolute favourites from the collection, and yeah, I'm really glad that I picked it up, but I'm also really glad that I picked it up at this time. So that's all I managed to finish reading on my trip to Ballarat and back. I also made some progress in Kingdom of Ash, however I did get quite swept up in An Anonymous Girl and Shout, so I didn't finish it, but I'm still working on it. I have a few more days, or I think it's like 4 or 5 more days until the end of January, and I really want to finish it by the end of January, so that's what I'm going to be focusing on for the next little bit. But thank you guys for following my reading vlog all the way to Ballarat and back and making that journey with me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to give a thumbs up and please subscribe if you want to see more. But I will see you guys next time. Bye friends, happy reading.